Thanks for tuning in to this latest weather briefing on Santa Ana wind potential. This time we're going to take a look at the potential for two events, and one could occur during the Christmas holiday. This is Alex Tardy, meteorologist with National Weather Service. Here is the outlook that takes a look at the threats for the wind and fire weather. You can see on Wednesday, we begin developing wind, onshore wind, and it continues through Thursday and Friday when we shift to offshore Santa Ana wind. The higher threat will be on Sunday, Monday, when we have a stronger Santa Ana wind event that is potentially going to develop on Christmas Eve into Christmas Day, and also higher fire weather threat during that period. We do want to mention a threat for small craft on Wednesday and Thursday over our waters as well. What have we seen so far this year? Well, across most of Southern California, it's the driest start, and many areas first or second place. In other words, we've not seen a drier period since October 1st to start off the wet season. It's also been very warm, and on the map on the right, you can see several degrees above normal when averaged out since October 1st. The orange and red shaded areas cover our southwestern California region. What is the weather pattern that's been prevailing and expected to continue into Christmas? Well, this weather pattern here shows the upper level ridge of high pressure, not a permanent position, but it has been over our region much of this fall. This potentially draws much colder air as well, as shown in this map here, as the storm track in white goes well to the north, tapping that cold air and bringing it down into central United States. This is also a weather pattern very conducive for Santa Ana winds as it draws higher pressure over the Great Basin area or offshore flow for us. Here's a look at the wind potential for the first event. We'll call it Santa Ana wind event number 1. The onshore winds again develop on Wednesday, and we see the offshore Santa Ana winds developing Thursday and continuing through Friday morning. When those winds develop early Thursday, we could see 40 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts across parts of the Inland Empire and spilling into Orange County. These winds will be moving through the mountain passes of the San Bernardino Mountains as shown here. Further south, still windy conditions over San Diego and Riverside County mountains, but not quite as strong, though we could see wind gusts approaching 50 to 55 miles per hour in a few locations. Also note the windy conditions developing over our waters. All right, and the next wind potential we're looking at is for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. This map here shows a similar high pressure area will develop and move down from Canada into the Great Basin area or Utah. But in this situation, the high looks much stronger, closer to what we saw earlier this month, and the high pressure system creates a tighter gradient, or in other words, the potential for stronger wind flow over Southern California, as shown here. And how unusual is this high pressure area? Well, we can see it's on the extreme side over the interior Mountain West from the Pacific Northwest into northern Utah. And again, this type of high pressure system is what creates our Santa Ana wind. All right, here's a summary and potential impacts. Onshore winds on Wednesday turning offshore early Thursday. That means Santa Ana winds developing. Peak wind gusts Thursday afternoon and Friday morning, as shown in the prior maps, could reach 50 miles per hour and locally higher. Stronger wind and warmer, drier conditions possible Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. We look at possible red flag conditions developing on Thursday and continuing into Friday morning. A higher fire danger is possible for Southern California Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Please check in the latest forecast for that potential. This type of wind on these two events certainly will create driving difficulty for high-profile vehicles and the critical fire weather conditions due to the low humidity and strong winds, especially Sunday, Monday, straddling our Christmas holiday. Keep in mind, we've seen no rain, so fuel conditions are on the record level for how dry they are. In other words, if we do get ignitions in these windy, dry air conditions, the fires can burn aggressively and out of control. Please stay tuned for the latest forecasts at weather.gov San Diego. You can go to that page and click on the map and get your local forecast right off of that map, updated multiple times a day. So please check out our webpage to see the latest hazards and also the latest warning information and forecasts. Thanks for tuning in.